What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Singlish podcast. So today is going to be just a little bit different. Remember I said in the pilot episode that I will have some of my friends on here. And this is the first of many friends that you will see and hear on this podcast. So I'm going to allow him to introduce himself, and then we'll kind of do some housekeeping as far as like how we met and stuff, and then we'll just jump right into today's topic. So go ahead.
Listen, I'm honored that I get the friend title.
Really? Oh my gosh.
I'm just teasing you. You know I got to give you a little bit of trouble, but
Yeah.
what's up, people? It's your boy Chris Millie from the Mile High City, Denver, Colorado. Yes, Caribbean people live in Colorado. We're here. Trust me, been here 25 years, and I don't think I can go anywhere anytime soon, right? So, but I make the best of it. But yeah, thank you for having me on your platform, young lady. I'm proud of you. Yeah,
Thank
getting
you.
these things off your chest.
Yes, I
We've had
appreciate
many a
you
conversation, so yeah.
Yep, and
Get it
I
off your chest,
appreciate.
girl.
Yep, and I appreciate you for agreeing to do this with me. I know it takes a lot to agree to be on a podcast, so I definitely appreciate you for not only pushing me to do it, but also to agree to be on here. So, as Chris said, he's in Denver. I was just as shocked to find out that Caribbean people do live in Denver. I was gonna say something else, but I'm gonna. I was like, let me chill. But I was shocked. But I actually met Chris at Rum Punch. He came and played here. Big shout out to Drega and Rockers Unlimited. They came and Chris came and played, and everybody knows I love soca, so that's how Chris got my heart.
Hey, those videos are great. I gotta look at those videos again. They were great.
We're not gonna talk about those videos because
you're right.
we're not gonna talk about it.
The music was just hitting your soul.
That's it, as it always does. So enough of that housekeeping. So today's topic is going to be about red flags. This is something that a lot of people are not talking about. They're quick to say, hey, red flags, red flags, red flags, but nobody's saying anything about it. So I was like, I got to talk to Chris about this because I feel like, as a male, you know what it's like to see red flags in a woman and vice versa. So that's why I wanted to have this conversation with you about it. But reason number 3 why your girl is in this Singlish phase.
Tell us.
The red flags are just super red. Like now in this point, the red flags are really red. And I just... You don't realize it as you go through like past relationships when you're like younger and stuff, but it's like now once you reach a certain age threshold, it's like, bro, these red flags are like really, really red. And you always learn it late after the relationship is over and done with, which is a bummer. But, I say better late than never. But yeah, reason number 3, red flags are red. The color is red.
I'm going to touch on what you just said just now. I know, we have some things lined up for this episode, right?
Right.
But you said something. You said the flags are red. You said we don't really know until the relationship's done. No, some of us get the gut instinct that, this is not normal behavior. Right. But we ignore our gut, right? You know what I mean? Right. So we know ahead, we know ahead of time. We just want it to work so badly sometimes. So, yes. So that's all I wanted to point out, you know what I mean? And then, like you said, the male perspective, I don't think a lot of males are allowed to and are brave enough to give the male perspective of some of these topics. It's always one-sided, but we're not here to bash anybody. We're just here to enlighten and educate. You know what I mean?
Big facts.
We're no experts. We're just talking off of our experiences.
Exactly. And as I said in the pilot episode, this is literally just all of my experiences. And, fortunately, I have people like Chris who have also experienced these things as well. So it's all coming from a place of experience, not necessarily pointing fingers at the other person. So just want to definitely continue to put that disclaimer out as we continue on. But yeah, to your piggyback comment, You're right. Not only do we realize it after the fact, but we always have that gut feeling, like you said, um, that always says to us, like, listen, this is a red flag, but you just want to ignore it because it's tunnel vision with this person. So aside from the tunnel vision, it's like, all right, let me just sweep that red flag underneath the rug and then keep moving and all of that. But aside from that, so we have a list of red flags that we discussed. I know I asked you earlier to give me a list and I had to break down your list, and I feel like the list would have been much longer had you really like sit and put some time to it, but we're just going to like highlight just a few of them. And then I'm going to also give some of my red flags as well. Um but one of the first ones that you said to me was hardly having any friends is a red flag. So one of my other guy friends said that to me as well, as far as like making sure that they have their own friends. That's like one of the main things that they look for when they're dating somebody or when they're talking to somebody, is making sure that they have friends. But why you say hardly having any friends is a red flag?
It starts to make me ponder some things like, okay, do you have a problem getting along with people? No, I'm not saying you have to have a bunch of friends. I think as humans in life, we need people to go through this with, right? Meaning
Absolutely.
people, not it not have to be a significant other, just people like friends, co-workers. Sometimes your co-workers become your best friends, right? Because you're
Absolutely.
running for 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, right? Or sometimes more.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, if you don't have anybody you can talk to, then it's starting to make me wonder, like, are you okay? Me, not okay, not okay. Like something's wrong with your mind. Like, are you okay? Like, are you okay? Like, how are you going through this without having friends? Who do you talk to? Are you
Oh,
bottling
like
everything in?
mentally, like, as
Yeah.
far as like, okay, I got you.
Are
As
you
like mental
bottling
health,
everything
okay.
in? Right.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I believe, when you meet a girl, or maybe in your case a guy,
Mm-hmm.
um, and you don't have friends, you start to wonder, like, are you not able to get along with people? I see you in these social settings, but how come you don't have friends out of these social settings, right? I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying that a person is not. I don't want to use the term loner, but some people just don't like being around people, so they know how to be by themselves, and
That introvert
it
versus
works.
extrovert. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Right.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, but if I know, you tell me you're in these social settings, and I'm like, yo, you must have some friends out of this. One person you can consider a friend at least. I'm not saying friends that you got to go in our Caribbean saying bun up road with. You know what I mean?
Touch
But
road.
yeah, man, touch road. You're always outer road with them. No, not like that. But you know what I
Right.
mean? But
I
yeah,
got you. I got you. So, I get that because I am the type of person where I'm a healthy balance between introvert and extrovert. But I do have a set of core friends that I do talk to. I posted them the other day. And I try to take pride in the fact that I have a core community of friends, and I try to at least do things with them. It may not be as often as we would like because we all have lives, of course.
right.
But definitely I understand what you mean. And you almost had me rolling when you said, "Are you okay?" But I mean, but that's a valid question though. It's like, are you truly okay? Because how are you venting? Are you seeking
Right.
therapy if you're not talking to your friends? Like, what measures are you taking to kind of decompress from lifing? So I definitely get that. Um, so another thing on the list that you gave me, and I also put this in here too as one of mine, is relationship with family. Now, I am a very oriented person, very family oriented. And if I see that you and your family don't have a good relationship, then yeah, nah, that's a big red flag for me.
Yeah, because before we go into this, it's like, okay, never mind. We'll leave. We'll scratch that last one, and we'll go into this. So for me, also, I grew up not necessarily my immediate family, meaning me and my parents and my brother. I wouldn't
Hmm.
say we have a big family, but the extended family, right? You have
Hmm.
six aunts and uncles on one side, six aunts and
Hmm.
uncles on the other side. It's like 13 set of grandkids on this side, and
Yeah.
then 13 set or 14 set of grandkids on the other side, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
but what I enjoyed on the other side of the family was, everybody got along. Christmas time, everybody is over there, aunt, uncle, everybody. So like they got along with my mom got along with my dad's siblings, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that. So if I want to be able to go spend Christmas at my significant other's family, you know what I mean? And vice versa. I
Right.
want them to come to mine too. So if you're not good with your family, I'm like, damn, I don't get to experience the things I want to experience from your side. Because I know you'll get that from my side, but you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, it makes sense. And I mean, I guess that, and I kind of agree with that sentiment too. It's like, yeah, you're around your family all the time. Not saying that you don't like your family, but you just want to experience different things with other people, especially if they're from a different culture than you.
Oh
Because
yeah.
coming from a Caribbean background, there's things that we do that might be considered over the top to the next person, but that's just our normal. And then like I said, if you're dating someone or talking to someone who is not of that background, you know, inviting them into that family culture is something that you would want to experience, and then vice versa. So, go ahead. I know you.
And then based on what you just said to also is like when you invite them into that space, right? Again, the topic we all know is they don't get along with family. So if they don't get along with their family, how are
Mm-hmm.
they gonna gel with your family?
That's right.
What's
Mm-hmm.
gonna happen? You know, what let them kick off with their family members that you know what I mean? I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Family's not perfect. We're gonna, especially if it's a big family, right? You're gonna have
Right.
some MF in there that you don't get along with, and you're just not gonna deal with. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
That's it.
Right.
That's how the world works, right? Or that's how life is. So, but I want to know, like, yo, what's over here that's causing this rift that's not repairable, that's irreparable, and then you come into my world, like, are you gonna bring the same energy, and then you're the odd man out because I'm
Mm,
not gonna like be like, yo, you know what I mean? If you look like an ass to my family and you did some ass shit to my family, then you know what I mean? It's like
right. Yeah.
I'm not gonna really have to. I'm not gonna cut my family off because no, your mother. Especially if you did it. If somebody over there did it, then I'll address it over here, right? But if you bring the fuckery over here,
Right. Right.
then
Right.
yeah,
So before I go into the part two on the family conversation, when
right,
you
yeah,
mentioned when you mentioned about the energy part, um, I'm also a person that's very big on vibes and energy and just overall, I could tell your spirit quick. Um, so definitely I agree with you when you say about the whole negative energy and that being a transferable energy, because sometimes when people bring that negative energy, it's sometimes very hard to shake off depending on who that person is.
right,
And it's like, okay, do I really want that in my space? Do I really want that around my family? Especially if that's not the same vein that we, operate on as far as negativity and that energy being displayed. Especially, like I said, when we're getting around together, having good time, wanting to laugh and joke and stuff like that. So, energies is a
exactly.
really really big thing that I think a lot of people are also not paying attention to as well. Um, so that'll technically be another red flag. Your energy, like, what are you centered, or are you as close to centered as possible? Like you said, everybody's not perfect, no family is perfect or whatever, but are you as close to centered as possible? And if you're not as close to centered as possible, what are you doing to take those steps to get to that point? So definitely wanted to just touch on that very quickly. So the part two to the family conversation, and that's the flip side of the do not get along with the family, is the ones that are super close to their family and allow their family to influence their decisions on who they decide to date and who they decide to, move forward with in any capacity. I think that's a big red flag. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm pondering what you just said, right? So my mind went to with the last part. My mind kind of went to like, okay, what if these people are the elders in the family and they have experience and they see certain things that you're not seeing and they
Okay,
don't approve,
well,
right?
that's
That's a
that's
different
the pos
caveat.
that's the positive side to it, and that's the caveat to it. But I'm
But some
talking
people
about.
are stuck in that where like, no, you can't tell me not to date this man. This man's so good to me. And they're like, this man gonna kill your ass. Like we see it.
I mean, aside from that part, I mean, of course, we want to respect the elders. Shout out to the elders in our family. But aside from that, like I said, okay, so let me just give you an example of what I mean, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
So you feeling a girl that you talk to a girl, you feeling her, and then Mom Dukes, is not given her, she's not really given much time to say, let me get to know this girl. But Mom
Right.
Dukes out the gate is saying negative things and then forcing her son to say, all right, no, don't date this girl. Try to give them an ultimatum. Because some people do that. Some family members do that. They from the gate is just, and sometimes from the gate is sometimes right. Let me also say that. But there's sometimes where it's that judge a book by its cover thing, and they try to force their influence on the person. So that's what I mean when I say influencing decisions from a negative standpoint, not from the
Got you.
elder
Cool.
standpoint, from that standpoint.
Got you. Okay, cool. Well, again, we have a thing called intuition, right? So if your
Mm-hmm.
intuition is telling you that, yo, this person that you're involved with, things going good, and then your mother or father or cousin, auntie, grandma come and give you the negative energy from out the gate without getting to know this person, you have to be a strong individual and stay strong to your foundational values to, what I mean, to combat that, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
I try to tell people, just friends, just in everyday conversation. I wasn't always this. I don't want to say woke. I never got to this point until late in life, right, where I understand some things and some things starting to
Right.
make sense, right, and knowing you're starting to realize and knowing yourself, right. If
Mm-hmm.
I don't, you don't have to lash out on that person who's giving you negative energy. You can stand your ground and be firm and talk to them with a level of respect where they're gonna have to come to your level and just understand where you're coming from. At,
Right.
at one point in time, they're gonna buckle, right?
Right.
So yeah, if you get to the point of where you're fed up in that situation, you can put your foot down in a diplomatic way and tell them, listen, I hear what you're saying, and it's not really sitting well with me, but this is the
Mm-hmm.
person I chose to involve myself with. It's either you're gonna accept it or you don't accept it, but I'm gonna be around. I'm gonna come to your house. What if this thing goes to marriage and we have
Right.
children? I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna bring the kids to come see grandma or grandpa. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dislike the kids because you dislike the daddy or the mommy? I fuck that. Oops, sorry. You know what I mean? But
I got you. But I
right,
mean, I was saying, I mean, I understand what you're saying as far as like making sure that you're headstrong and standing your ground in those types of situations. But what about the people who are not so headstrong? And,
that
whatever mom say goes.
yeah, yeah, I get that. I get that, and that's woo. That's a one. That's something I can't really touch on because, well, I was once there in life, right? But I didn't
Right?
have the negative perspective. I had the other experience of like they seeing shit coming a mile away, and they're like, "Chris, you don't see this happening?" I'm like, "No, no, I'm good. I'm good." And then the
Right.
shit finally plaster you. But the other end of it, I couldn't really talk on that part. That part, ooh, I wish them luck. God go with you.
Yeah, God go with you for real, because like I'm saying, they have people like that, and not necessarily saying that we are those type of people, but at the same
Right.
time, some people have experienced those things where they're talking to somebody and s- you know one day they're good, next day they say, okay, we can't be together. You ask them why, and it's like they
My
don't want to
family
give you
don't
the
approve.
reason, but it's right. It's family that might have said something in the background. And again, they're not as strong. They're not standing 10 toes down on how they feel, but because they're trying to people please, especially their family, is where all of those decisions and influences start coming. So I just wanted to touch on that because I know, like I said, there's some people who are out there who are like that, and some people who have experienced that. Thankfully, that's not my story, or that's not a part of my story. But
Right.
it has been for some people. So that's something that I did want to touch on as a red flag. Now,
For those people, I would hope that they have good friends they can talk to before they make a rash decision like that.
fair,
That's all I can say. Somebody
fair,
that they trust to talk to because yo, that's a lot of pressure. Now that you think about it,
yeah,
it's a lot of pressure, especially if you
mm-hmm.
check for a person, but you also really love your family, and that's what's coming at you. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure, like you said. If they're weak, I just hope that they have somebody they can talk to to weigh it out first before they like wake up one month. So you know what, I'm done.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. At that, definitely agree with that because having a sense of, standing 10 toes down, that takes practice. That's not something
Enough,
that happens like
enough practice.
overnight. So
Oh yeah.
definitely I agree with you as far as, wishing that person the best of luck and making sure that they have that type of response to be able to say, all right, look, I love you, but no. Um,
You know
so
when
that
that
there's
started to
that.
shift for me, what you said about
Yeah.
being able to stand 10 toes down, is when
Hmm.
I started to see like a life coach and got
Mm.
get the affirmations and get tools to help me that way, and then reading books, you know what I mean, like the secret, no, not the secret, um the Four Agreements, right?
For
That was a
agreements.
book
Yeah.
that she pushed for me to read. Now I'm reading The Power of Now, which is talking about staying in present moment and not worrying about what shoulda, coulda, woulda type thing. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? And
Right.
accepting what's happening in this moment. Like me talking to you right now, and something fly through the window and hit me. I know that's a little off, out there, but I can't really get mad at
Yeah.
why that happened. You just got to just take the lick and keep it moving. Or like, for instance, getting laid off from a job.
Right.
You know,
Right.
some people freak out and like, oh my God, I can't. You just stay in that moment. Everything happened for a reason. But anyways, back to the topic at hand. But yes,
Yeah.
that's where those
So
shifts start happening. The books and the people that decided to coach me to get
one
out of
thing
negative
that you
Valley.
mentioned, I'm glad you actually touched on this, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go into a little bit of it before we go into the next bigger red flag, if you will. But that's when it also started to shift for me as well, and I'm going to talk about that in more detail on a later episode. Healing in private, glowing in public. I'm just going to drop that topic now, but I'm definitely going to talk about that in a later episode. But that's when it also started to shift for me as well too, that mindset. Because definitely reading books helps. Like, people don't realize how much it helps, and I wish that people would stop really getting into technology more and try to like get into books more, especially books that are going to help you grow as an individual. Which is probably part of the reason why I even wanted to do this podcast in the first place. I'm gonna be honest with you. So I'll definitely touch, and that's where the meat of my story really starts. So definitely stay tuned for that episode. Um, but the bigger red flag that I wanted to address, that you put on here on your list, was masculine and feminine energy, knowing the difference between the two and all of that. So I'm just going to say this right now, okay,
should
before
I
we had
should
this
I brace
conversation.
myself? Should I
No, no,
brace
no. You don't have
myself?
to. No, you don't have to
And
brace yourself.
you're like, we're gonna have it now. I'm like, oh no,
Nah,
I gotta brace myself. No.
nah. You don't have to brace yourself. But what I will say is, when I looked up the Google definition, they say you can't trust Google for everything. But when I looked up the Google definition of the difference between masculine and feminine energy, I kind of had to like pause for a second, because I'm like, okay, some of this stuff could be positive, but I could see why some of it might be negative. So some of the masculine energy traits that they talk about in women, and again, we'll discuss the feminine side after. But one of the masculine traits that they said was, confidence, assertiveness, independency, and daring. They're very logical and analytical, and she's the boss. Like I said, I kind of had to pause for a second, because I'm just like, how is that really considered masculine energy? But I want you to give me your definition of masculine energy, and then we'll see if Google is actually right in regards to that. So, masculine energy in women, go.
All right. Before I get there, I know the people can't see us; they're listening, but we're seeing each other right now, right?
Right.
You saw when you listed off that list and how my reaction was.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Some of those things, assertiveness. If you're assertive, you're assertive. Like I don't think that's masculine. It's all you use the assertion, right?
Right.
So that's why when you said that, I was like, what?
That's what Google
Google
said.
Google considers that a masculine trait in a woman.
Yeah, I screenshot that bad boy and like drop it. I swear. That's what they said. I literally Googled masculine energy traits in women, and that is what came up. I kid you
Wow.
not. I kid you not.
Damn.
So that's why I said, when I saw the list, I was kind of taken aback, because I'm just like, okay, you know, is it really considered masculine energy? Like, is it really, really masculine energy? Like, is that even a fair assessment to say that that's masculine energy?
Yeah, like assertive. Assertive. I just look it up, right, just to make sure I was thinking what I was thinking.
Right?
Being assertive means you're forcefully pushing yourself on someone. So again, it's how you use the
True.
again, it's how it's used, right? Yeah, right. Golly. No, all right. So case in point, since we're talking about that, I'm going through a bit of something like that with a person. Like they are very like showing that, yo, I like you, but I'm like, bruh, I'm like, I'm not on that right now. You know
So
what I mean?
wait,
But
this person is different from your story, correct?
yeah, oh yeah, this is
Okay, okay,
like
okay.
new.
All right. You didn't tell me about that, but okay, go ahead.
No, because damn it. But it's not the reason I didn't say anything is because it's not like it's gonna be a thing. Remember the last situation that was gonna be a thing? We
Yeah,
knew
yeah, yeah.
everything.
Yeah, right,
Right.
right,
So
right,
this
right.
it's just that that's her direction to me, and I'm just like, guys, girl, I'm not even like I'm gonna have to have a conversation with her. But
So in that specific case,
she's being assertive.
right, but her assertion is a little bit overbearing, if you will.
It's not overbearing. It's just that she's like pushing, and we will never get there. So I'm
Oh,
gonna have
have
to.
mercy.
But we never talked about it. It's just like you know. So I'm
I
just
got
like,
you.
damn. I'm like, I'm gonna have the conversation though because listen, when you see this recap video from the last party, you're gonna see the girl in the video,
Oh,
and it's like
mercy.
Ross Claude, you know.
I'm actually looking forward to that. But like I said, Google has essentially failed me in this case. But the
I'm gonna give
feminine,
you.
yeah, the feminine energy. Now, okay, so before I tap into the feminine energy, what was your thoughts about the red flag as far as the masculine energy being found in women?
All right, this is for me and from my experience. Like, if you want to buck up on me in a disagreement, I'm like, yo, I'm not even thinking about going that far with this disagreement, but you like coming at me like you're a man, like you're squaring up, about to like your shoulders become broad and you see the butt, your chest start to raise like you're UFC fighter. Like, no, I can't do that. Like, no.
So you
No,
mean
no, no.
masculine energy in like the physical sense, like
Well,
what?
that it will okay. So the disagreement, the words are now becoming a physical display. Does that make
Got you. Yeah, that
so?
makes
Yeah,
sense. That makes sense.
we're arguing, and it's not a back and forth. It's like a you trying to cower me at that point in time. Like, yo, what's really going on here? Like, are we gonna have this disagreement and like have a dialogue, or are you just gonna try and like, oh, I'm gonna belittle Chris and overpower him? That's the masculine energy for me. Like, yo,
Got you.
you
Okay.
like, yeah, like why you wanna yell at me? Like, why you wanna yell over what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
So them
And
trying to put more bass in their voice than you got and
trust.
trying to be I
I
mean,
don't know if they're getting days, but they loud.
but I'm saying like, that's what I mean by like, getting loud and just trying to like, be over the top in a disagreement. Of course, you have some women who are like that.
Right? Or we
So
can go to this point now. We're out and somebody pisses you off and your reaction is, I'm gonna beat your ass. What the hell? I don't expect no woman to tell the next woman to beat your ass. Like, no, you bump me, like, yo, that wasn't cool. Next time say excuse me. That's it. Cool. I can deal with that. But you're like, I'm gonna
okay.
beat your ass because you what?
And
I've been
actually get physical with the person is
or
what you're
threaten
saying.
them and the body language changes. Like I've been
Gotcha.
out with female friends, acquaintances, girlfriends, and they have that. So no, at one point in time I started to question myself, like, Chris, what the hell really wrong with you? Why you like these type of girls? You want a soft girl, but you have these girls that are ready to go fight in the grocery store, or you're out at the club and a girl look at you the wrong way and she's ready to go. Like, people are gonna look at people, goddamn it. Like,
Right.
stop the fuckery. Like, no, I'm not gonna be in the club, especially if I'm DJing. I don't want my woman to be like starting no crap because then I gotta stop playing music to go part some crap. Yeah, so that type of masculine energy, like the way how you want to talk to me in a disagreement,
Mm-hmm.
because they're not masculine all the time. It's when they get to that point.
Got
You know
you.
what I mean?
So
I never see
so
my mother get masculine with my father in a disagreement. So it's like that's like foreign to me.
so you're saying like, when certain buttons are being pushed and the reaction to those buttons being pushed is the masculine energy that you're referring to.
Yeah, that's what I've experienced it. Not like you come off like a man from get go.
I got you. I got you. So, I mean, okay, good. So, thanks for that clarification. Aside from, like I said, what Google told me, the ghetto. But again, that is something that I wanted you to clarify, especially from a male perspective, because you know, I mean, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm always playing devil's advocate, but there's some women who have no choice but to, nuck if you buck every time, which is fine, and they have to
Give me a
now.
scenario what would make you want to be that way. Not you, but those women to be in that way. You brought the devil's advocate thing. Come
No,
on.
I mean,
Let's go.
okay. So like, I mean, so I'm a firm believer in like learned behavior, right? So like you said, you never saw your mom, get like that with your dad and vice versa, right?
Right.
But there's some people who grow up in households where that's all they know. So at this point, if that's all they know, then I mean, everything is a choice, obviously. Let me just say that. But for some people, it's harder to break those types of cycles, especially, like I said, if it's learned behavior. So, like I said, there's some women who, like I said, are naturally going to be nuck if you buck. Obviously, we're not saying that's okay, but we also want to point out that there are going to people who are going to be like that. So,
A good word for that is survival. They're
there
always
you
in
go.
survival mode.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's what I mean by when I say that. But to the flip side of that,
Right.
the feminine energy, and I just want to make sure that we touch on that because
Definitely.
there's some people who may not know exactly what feminine energy would even look like or where to even begin to understand what feminine energy looks like. Um, so feminine energy, of course, being nurturing, empathetic, creative, compassionate, accepting, those types of things. Um, Go ahead.
Kind should have been on that list. Kind
Well,
should have been on that
that
list.
was just the tip of the iceberg. There were so many things that could be considered as feminine
I
energy,
like a
but
kind woman. I like a kind, soft woman.
all right, so if anybody's listening that's single and they hear
Oh,
Chris
Ross.
say
That was, yes,
it,
Lord.
sorry,
Yes.
sorry, I had to just drop that in there.
Yeah, man, you're
But
good. You're good.
but
Oh, okay, I'll
but
be back. I'll be back in May for Daybreak and Rum Punch. So yeah,
here he go.
put the disclaimer out if you want. All
Oh,
right.
have mercy. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean, aside from that red flag masculine energy, like I said, I just wanted to make sure that we understood what the feminine energy is and supposed to look like, to actively try to combat the masculine energy if it's something that you do have. Now, I didn't tell you I was going to do this, but I just had to ask just really quickly as we're talking. Have you ever seen any red flags within yourself though?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I was gonna touch. That's what I wanted to touch on when you did your intro and we started conversing.
Yeah.
One would have to identify what their red flags are, and you know what? Shout out to the last one. Shout out to her because I had that made me realize me as a person what things that I was doing that made me shift and also try to make the relationship work. So, yes, red flags in yourself. If you again, like I said, once you start to understand yourself, you know what your thing is, and you work on it.
Kudos to you for being honest about that. Cause sometimes some people don't even get that honest and they'll be like, oh, who me? I got the red flags or who me? What's that? So definitely shout out to you for being honest as far as that go. And like you said, for me too, um, I'm always doing a self evaluation. I am so hard on myself.
Yes, you are.
And okay, I didn't ask you to agree just now, but
You know, I'm always pushing you not to be, so I'm gonna,
yeah, I
yeah,
got you. I got you. But I'm so hard on myself, and that is something that I am trying to unlearn. But yes,
read that book then. Read
I
that book, unlearn.
we'll talk about it. Uh but yeah, like I said, I am so hard on myself and I'm always noticing little things. It may not necessarily be a red flag, but I'm always trying to find ways to self-improve, whether it's in just personal life or just relationship wise. Definitely that is something that I look. So I just said let me ask you, if you do notice it, because like I said, some people they in denial and they
Any
don't know.
man, any man that say he has no red flags is a fool.
Okay.
I cannot. I'm talking from the male perspective. I can't give the woman. I could say that about the women also, but A man who would, if you ask that to a man and him sit down and him tell you fuckery, like him not really he process what that is. So yeah, he's a fool.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So, my question to my listeners: have you noticed any of these red flags that we talked about? What are some red flags that you yourself have seen that we may not have touched? I know the list is probably extensive, and the list will definitely vary from person to person. So, definitely if you've seen any red flags that we have not touched, please feel free to share them with me. And if you guys, quick stop. If you guys want a part 2 to the red flags, definitely let me know, because that'll be something that we definitely could talk about again. But again, let's move on. So as I promise you every time, I'm going to story drop. So here is our segment of story time. Story time. So I have a couple of situations. I always have a couple of situations. And my friends say they live for my stories. God help me. But I have one particular situation that I saw as a red flag. So I was dating someone, and I met this person through, I want to say Instagram.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, I
You're
want to say
brave.
Instagram. And again, conversation was cool. We bonded on a lot of different things, especially things that, some men would probably those who like those kind of things, like sports and all of that. So we kind of bonded on those things. And we were having conversation, and he mentioned wanting to have children. So I said, okay, I'm not against that, topic. However, if I can help it, I would like to have children with the person that I'm married to. That is just something that I personally want. Now, again, life happens and things happen, and sometimes it may not go as the way we would expect it to go. But as I told him, I said, if I can help it, I would like to have children with my husband. So this particular person pretty much tried to just put a ring on my finger without even like really being for real or being dead ass.
So he wanted to have
And
the kids then. That's why he put the ring on the finger.
exactly. So he wanted to so in order for me to agree to have the children with him, he said, "Okay, I'm going to give you this promise ring, and then we're just going to go from there." And I was like, "Sir, no. Like, we're only a couple months into this relationship." And I mean, of
But
course,
when
when
you
you're
know, you know.
fuck that.
Just joking.
Just fuck that. But we were only a couple months into the relationship, and when you're a certain age, there's certain conversations that you're gonna have in a relationship, which of course we can't run from that kind of stuff. But he was like, okay, I'm gonna give you this promise ring, and then we're just gonna I'm gonna hope that you're gonna want to pretty much you know be in a relationship with me and have my kids after the fact. Fast forward years later, and I'm
You
gonna
still holding
also
the promise ring, don't it?
no, it's not that. Fast forward years later, he was like, I don't even know why I didn't just nut in you and have your kids. So I just said, I'm sorry. So, again, that's just a big, 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 big red flag for me. Like, don't try to coerce me into, you know, have doing something that you want to do. I understand that you want to fast. I understand that that's where you are and that's what you want to do with your life. But at the time, I was still in my 20s. And I'm like, look, I'm not ready for kids right this second. Number one. Number two, I want to at least live out my 20s and actually have like a decent time, you know, enjoying that. Like, I don't want to be somebody mama this early. Like, it's just, no. So that was a big, big red flag for me, trying to impregnate me. And this is where it gets worse. He said he wanted to have this child by his birthday, which we had met maybe, basically I would have had to have gotten pregnant right as we met in order to meet that deadline of having the baby by his birthday.
What kind of madman are you meeting, my girl?
so,
Yo.
so that's what I said that's what I said in the beginning. Some of y'all are gonna be looking at me like, Kelsey, what the is going on with you? Like, what the fuck?
So most people haven't heard the story before. That's why your reaction is what it is right now.
Yes, I'm just listen.
This
It's
even makes it better. Yo, I can't wait to hear the feedback on this one.
what the hell? But yeah, that's amazing work. So I would have had to literally spread my legs and hope that I
Bust it
was
wide open.
busted wide open.
Bust it,
And
baby. What the song
yeah,
name? Bust it, baby. Yes.
yeah, I would have had to have done that literally as we met to make sure that I've met this deadline
Yes, Lord.
of having his child by his
Yes,
birthday.
Father God.
I was just like, yeah, nah.
So listen, so listen now. I'm gonna have to chime in here on this one. We're
Of
gonna give the
course.
people them something to really listen to, because we're gonna have this dialogue back and forth, right? You see what you see where you meet this crazy man? Instagram. Don't bother with the DM conversation with no more Negroes, okay?
No. Let me stop you right there.
Mm.
Because there are some people who have actually met the loves of their lives through DM.
And that's
Now,
one in a few million. That's fine,
okay,
cool.
that's one in a few, but I don't want to discourage those who have slid into DMs and and are actually getting positive feedback to the
Yeah,
sliding in the DMs.
yeah, fine. That's fine with them. I'm just talking about your scenario here, yo.
Like I said, I can
You should
laugh.
do a poll on Instagram about this. How many guys slide in women's DMs and it's crazy talk, and see what the poll looks like for real,
You
and
know
do it
what?
for the
I'm gonna do
guys as
that.
well.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
do it.
because I'm curious to see those people who are having success in the DMs, how much shit they go through first to get to the successful part.
I got you. I got you. But
Yeah,
like I said, I can laugh about this shit now. But when I was going through it, it was not funny to say the least.
I don't
But
think any woman would have been funny, find that funny if they were going through that.
listen, so yeah, so that was my big red flag. Like, okay, I would have to get pregnant like ASAP. So yeah, nah, we weren't doing that. So that was my experience as far as with experiencing red flags. So what about you? I know you said that you had a story.
Yeah,
So
I have a few. Or just which one I want
just
to give out is
give me the
true.
hot topic. Give me the hot
The
topic.
hot, ooh, I don't
Give me the
know.
hot one. Give me the hot one.
Yo, listen, we still a process your thing, because that
It's a lot to take in. I promise you, it's a lot to take in. It's a lot.
there's some real mad man out the road. Does this man know how much child support costs? Like, yo, yeah, you got to
Actually,
think about
yes,
that,
he
because
does. No, actually, yes, he
what
does.
so
Actually, yes,
he's
he
a
does because
he
he got kids.
so right, so he's a slave to the system. Then him like play child support. What is going on in this
Not by
man's
choice.
mind? What is going on in this man's mind to think that, okay, I'm gonna breed Kelsey and it's gonna work forever, and you just met the girl, bruh? Really? No, man. Me
Hey,
have to meet this man. I have to meet this man and talk to him to see where his mental capacity is. Cause I ain't gonna meet no girl and say, yo, we should be having some babies right now.
listen.
Rascal. Nope, nope, nope,
Listen.
nope, 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 nope. No,
It's a lot to take
no.
in, but yeah, I
She
need your
could,
hot topic story.
yeah, she could have some good pum pum, but no, not gonna work. Now I'm gonna tell her, yo, we need to have some
I'm
baby right now.
weak.
You're mad.
I'm weak. I'm
I
so
told you it was going
weak.
to go crazy on this podcast. I'm
I'm
just joking.
so
Anyway, so
weak.
now,
I'm so weak.
story, story. All
Make
right,
it good,
so
Chris.
I don't know if it's gonna be good, but this one always like really, this one made me do awesome, not crazy stuff. It just made me do some things to like satisfy my curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
So I met this young lady, jump from kind of like a jump from one relationship to the next, and
Mm-hmm.
then something pop off, and then it never got the way it's supposed to go. But I still ended up in that situation, and I still ended up buying a ring and proposing to this girl. And I was like, all right, cool, we're gonna make it work. But anyways, before all of that, met the girl, we dated, things got become official, and at the time I was childless, and I was young.
Mm-hmm.
I was probably like early 20s, early to mid 20s maybe. She had a child at the time, and even to this day, I'm seeing some things that make me be like, damn boy, how you miss all these things, right? So this individual would always talk about their papa, southern term for them grandfather. I'm like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
papa, yeah, papa, this your papa, that. So I'm like, all right, yo, yeah, it's not my real, it's not my real Papa, but he's been there for me. So I was like, all right, cool. So I'm like, yo, more I meet this man and rah rah rah. You keep talking about this man, and we in something really, serious. Me talk to your auntie on the phone. I know your father. We'll go to your father's house and hang out, and So, anyways, Papa comes to town. She's like, yo, Papa gonna bring my car from wherever she's from to here. And I'm like, all right, cool. Maybe we can link up for some dinner or whatever. And well, the evening when Papa come and the car come, I can't get a hold of this person.
What you mean? Like no call, no show?
I'm calling like, yo, babe, well, go on, call me back. Yo, we not do the dinner thing, Papa in town. We're not linking up. No call, no response. I found that strange, but then I hear about the next day. Yo, we good. My daughter want to spend some time with Papa. We just kind of just never bother really pay attention to the phone. Listen now. If you tell me ahead of time that was gonna happen, cool. I would never catch on to the rake. But anyways, I go play a softball game. And she came to the softball game with her cousin and her daughter. And her cousin at the time was a child. He was probably like 10, 11 maybe. So I say, yo, the game done. We go and eat some food. I'm taking them to go eat or whatever. Before they went home because they live on the other side of town. So I was like, yo, so-and-so, how was your time with, grandpa? That's not her grandpa. That's her friend. My mom told me that's her friend. Ooh. I said, I said, what? And the look she had on her face when her cousin said that, I was like, yo, what really are going on?
Nah, not her trying to mask the grandpa as a friend that she trying to.
I'm gonna explain how that. I'm gonna explain how the papa is the friend now. I'm gonna explain that.
Nah, that's wild.
So, anyways, I'm pissed. I finished eating my food. I didn't curse her out. I didn't even yell at her.
Good for
she
you.
Just saw the look on my face. That's boy. Them time that I would have done that, but my brain just told me like, yo. At early 20s, that's wild, man. But it's just in that moment, my brain was like, you know what? Does it really make sense to even flip the lid on this?
Right.
So I just said her, jump in my car. At the time I was into cars, so I had a decent car, souped up car. I raced out to the parking lot, and there's a bar that we always go to. Or my friend's dad owned the bar, so we always go hang out at the bar. So I raced down to the bar, parked the car. Everybody's like, where have you been? We've been waiting for you from the softball game. And I say, yo, you saw my girl here, so I had to go hang out with her for a little bit, come link up with you guys. They're like, oh, we're under the impression you weren't going to come. I was like, well, technically I wasn't going to come, but I'm here now. So she's calls me, yo, I'm so sorry, I didn't explain myself. And she's crying at this point in time, right? I was like, you know what? We'll talk to you later. I'm going to hang up. About an hour go by, I get another phone call. I just talked to my dad about the situation. My dad said I need to come clean and tell you what's going on because my dad realizes that I really like you and my dad likes you. And I'm like, you talked to your father? Her father did tell me he talked to her about the situation. Come to find out, anyways, we talk about it. It's good. Papa is a father figure to her because her dad wasn't there, right?
Oh, okay.
Hold on, it gets interesting now. And Papa has been grooming her since she was like a middle schooler, maybe, because he coached a basketball team.
Did you say groom?
Groom. When we mean groom, he didn't do nothing to her at that age, but he was grooming her until she become of age. Does that make sense now?
So, as in trying to teach her values and principles until she came of age, is what you're saying?
If you want to call it values. He was just there as a father figure.
I'm just asking because the grooming word nowadays is not what that is. So I'm just trying to clarify.
No, you know what you know what I'm talking about. But not grooming like he's like, yo, he's not pushing himself on her and grooming her that way. But I call it grooming because I put two and two together. He was her basketball coach from middle school all the way through high school, right?
So he basically watched this girl go through puberty, is what you're saying?
And him look out for her, like provide things for her and all type of things, right?
Okay.
But I go to friggin' Arkansas, where she's from, country. I go down there because she needed the car to carry the car back. See, the same car the man bring, she ended up having to take it back because her dad said to her, give back the man his car. I will get you a car, give back the man. So we drive in this car from Colorado to where she's from. And I gave it away earlier, but I'm going to keep running with it. So anyways, we get there, right? It's Thanksgiving. We get there. No Papa. We're not hearing nothing about Papa. I'm like, cool. So then we get there that evening. The next morning, it's Thanksgiving morning. Her mother's getting some food ready and thing. And I get up and say good morning and help her around the house. And I gone in the shower now to get ready for the day because we have to go to a few houses for Thanksgiving, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me come out of the blood clot shower. No girl to be found. Gone.
What? What?
Gone. Somebody said, wait, you couldn't just tell me that you got to go do something or whatever. That's what I'm thinking, right? I call my cousin, like, say, this girl are gone. I don't know where she gone, but I think I know where she gone. He's like, let's scope it out, man. Let's watch the ride. I was like, all right, cool. So now she comes back with her brother, and I hear her mom is, you know that your man Chris is very upset that you went to go link up with Papa, right? With the man.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so why you
Lies.
gotta move? So why you gotta move so secretively if this man is just a father figure, right?
Right,
So,
exactly.
so anyways, I was like, so I got mad. I jumped in the car again, the same damn car, the souped up car. I am bellowing through these people's neighborhood at high rates of speed because I'm mad. And it's a loud ass car, souped up. And then I found a car wash and I go wash the car because we've been driving all night, right? Wash the car off to blow off some steam and come back. And the mother's like, yeah, all right, man, yeah, I'm cool, whatever. We go to her grandmother's house. We go to her aunt's house, have Thanksgiving dinner. Cousins come over, we chat shit, laugh, have a good time, drink some rum, whatever, right? We're going back to the house and say, yo, I'm here. I really want to meet Papa. This is why I'm on this trip.
No,
I
sir.
want to meet Papa. I need to know what's going on with this
sir.
Papa guy, right?
No,
Anyways,
sir.
let me speed up the story, for sake of time. No Papa. We getting ready to leave town. Guess whose car I see on Papa's trailer truck? Her car is like, there's Papa. Pull up the handbrake, go chase this man down. She's begging me not to chase this man down. And I'm like, you know what? I wasn't going to chase him down to do nothing. I just want to meet the man. I just want to see who Papa is. I was on some Matlock, some like detective stuff now, right? So anyways, I turn the car around. We leave. We talking. It's a long drive. So we finally get to a place and spend night in a hotel and then get the road. And I was joking with her when I went to fill up. I was like, we feel like you juke off Papa, I feel like you and Papa joke.
To juke off.
Yeah, you juke off Papa. She's like, yeah, it was and her response was, yeah, it was really good. Man, it was so good. So she's trying to run a joke now, right? So I'm pumping the gas and I'm like, you trying to be funny, but this shit, you fucking serious. You serious at the same time. So we finally get back here. We get back home and a few days pass and she's like, I need to tell you something. Yes, me and Papa had a relationship and and it wasn't until I became like 18, 19, I went off to college and it happened. And so I said, how long this going for? She's like, for like a year. And then the funny thing is her kid used to call him daddy. So I'm like, yo,
you know what? Nope. All right.
So
enough red flag in that story. Enough red flag.
So that's the craziness. So that's when I was like, yo, I gotta look
talking about you talking about that you can't get over my story. I'm talking listening to your story. I'm like, no, man.
No, the man telling say, well, I'm breed you. So that's crazy. That man already, that's crazy.
It don't even matter. The fact is that this girl was literally telling you this her Papa and she over here fucking him on the side. You know,
she call him
whatever.
daddy for real.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And then we end up getting engaged after that, actually, because I was like, "Fuck it, I'm committed anyway."
So you the madman then? So you the madman?
At that stage in life, yeah, man. Of course. Okay. Now that I look back at that, yeah. And then she was moving to Arkansas because she hate moving back to Arkansas. Yep. And I was like, I'm gonna move. My family left. I'm gonna move. I'm in love. I'm gonna work this shit out. I'm moving. And the signs were every time I thought about moving, I'd pull my car over and throw up. I was sick to my stomach. I couldn't find a job there. I was overqualified for every job I applied for. I was like, this country ass fucking place. Yeah, I don't need to be there. And I just called her. Here's the coolest part. Valentine's Day, I called her. I'm like, yo, this shit not gonna work. I'm sorry. You didn't even check on me this morning anyway to say happy Valentine's Day, everything good. Where you there? Papa's for the weekend. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm out. This is not gonna work. Bam. And I felt good after. I felt like a weight lifted off of me after that. And she ended up getting married after that, and that marriage failed, and yeah.
Yikes. So you talking about me. That story was good. I told you make it a good one, and you did. So I appreciate you for making it a good one.
Oh, and God made her lost the engagement ring. That was another sign.
Oh, have mercy.
Yes. I was like, yes.
Not you excited about that.
I was like,
But
shit, yes, that's a sign. I gotta go.
listen, but that those both of those stories, wow. Okay, wow. But as I said, I wouldn't be me if I did not give you any advice on any situation. So clearly we went through some serious red flags at this point to now be able to tell you and give you some advice. So the only advice that I have as far as takeaway from this is forgive yourself for staying too long when you should have left. Forgive yourself for staying too long when you should have left when you saw the red flags. Okay? That is advice that I got to take for myself. That is advice that I'm being honest here. That is something that I got to take for myself. So like I said, if you don't take anything else away from this and our stories, definitely forgive yourself for staying too long when you should have left. So I just want to thank you, Chris, again for coming on here. This is just the first of many episodes that you will be on. Just giving that disclaimer. And like I said, if you guys want a part 2 on the red flags, please let me know. I have no problems dropping that in the lineup. So definitely tell me if you guys want a part 2 on the red flags. But again, as I always say, be singlish and own it. And guys, go be great.